Hello, welcome to this episode of the podcast. It's going to be a super juicy one because we're talking about how you can make money, fast money. Now, this is not a get rich quick scheme. You know that I am not into that stuff, right? You're going to have to do some work. But I want to share with you a strategy that myself and a client built a few weeks ago that resulted in her signing £1,000 worth of one-on-one coaching clients in the space of 7 days. Now, what happened was she came to me and said, Rachel, I need to make some money quite quickly. How can I do that? What is the best strategy for me to do that? The offer that I want to sell is one-on-one coaching. So her and I sat down and we made a plan. And I want to share the plan with you in this episode because it kind of struck me that right now, especially, here in the UK, I'm sure those of you that aren't in the UK have got this going on too. But here in the UK, we're hearing so much about increasing bills, household food, energy, fuel. Everything around us is increasing in price. And when your back's against the wall and you need to make some fast cash, it's a good skill to have to know how to do it, okay? So I'm going to share with you the plan. There's 3 steps to the plan, okay? The first one is getting really, really clear on what it is that you want to offer, what it is that you are asking people to buy from you. So when myself and my client sat down and looked at her offer, we came up with an offer for £333. But of course, you don't have to do that. You might have an offer that's worth £1,000 or an offer for 500 or an offer for 200. So all you need to do, if you have a specific money goal in mind, her goal was £1,000 in a week. So we said, right, let's find 3 clients. We'll price the offer at 333. We'll make it an absolute no-brainer offer. Yeah. So what could that look like for you? That's my first question to you. What could that look like for you? Is it that you want to make £1,000 next week and you want to sell a £500 offer, in which case you need to find 2 clients? If your goal is that you want to sign £5,000 next week and you've got an offer for £2,000, you know that you've got to sell 3 of those offers to make £6,000, yeah? It's just a simple piece of maths for you to get really clear on the cost of your offer and how many clients you're actually going to need to find and sign. Now, the number of clients in itself is not really a number that you should focus on because it doesn't really matter how many times you sit at your desk or go out walking and say to yourself, I want to sign 3 clients, I want to sign 3 clients. That is not how you're going to sign the clients. We sign the clients through the activity, through the behavior, through the action that we do day in, day out, okay? So it's not just about focusing on, I really need to find these clients, because the more that you focus on trying to sign the clients, the harder it actually feels. I find it easier and, more advantageous to the outcome for you to focus on the activity, the lead gen activity. So if you need to sign 3 clients to reach your money goal for next week, and you know that your conversion rate on sales calls is 50%, then that means that you need to be doing 6 sales calls next week to sign those 3 clients. If you've been doing sales calls for a long time and you're better at them and your conversion rate is, say, 75%, you close 3 out of 4, then you only need to do 4 calls. So you wouldn't work as hard as you'd need to work to book 6 calls if you knew that you only needed to do 4 calls. So understanding your conversion rate is really important and focusing on the lead gen activity, whether that's calls, maybe it's conversion for you selling in the DMs. Maybe that's your preferred way to sell. Maybe you want to go live in your Facebook group and deliver a mini masterclass with a sales pitch at the end of it, where you make an invitation after you've taught your audience something valuable that they really want to know. So think about what is the lead gen activity that you will need to do and in what quantities you'll need to do it in order to sign the number of clients that you've got really clear about that you need to sign, okay? So for you to make £1,000 in 7 days with a 333 offer like my client, she knew that she needed to sign 3 clients. The way that she planned to do that was going to her hottest audience. Now, this is something that I would advise that you do too. All around you, you might have heard the term low-hanging fruit. Now, I'm sure you haven't got, like apples and bananas and pineapples in your audience. However, the term low-hanging fruit just means that you've got people in your audience that are ripe, that are ready, yeah, that have been following you for a little while and they're ready to invest, they're ready to work with you. It just might be that they haven't seen a call to action. They haven't seen that clear invitation from you. So what we did for my client is we said, right, let's have a look at all of the people in your audience right now that would qualify as being low hanging fruit. Yeah, they're ready to take action. So we made a list of all the people who viewed her stories. We made a list of the people in her email community who regularly open and regularly click on her emails. So the highly engaged people. And we just generally made a list of anybody in the community that's made themselves known to her. So that could be in Facebook groups, her Instagram audience, her LinkedIn audience, her TikTok audience. You know, anybody that is around you in your community right now could be somebody that is almost ready to buy. And if you don't engage with them, if you don't invite them to that sales call, if you don't invite them to have that DM conversation, you don't invite them to your masterclass, they won't be able to say yes to an invitation because they won't be there to hear it. Okay, so step 1 is getting really clear on the offer. Step 2 is finding your hottest audience, the people that the most likely are being ready to say yes to an offer. Okay, and then the third thing is your messaging. Yeah, you know who you're going to invite. You know what you're going to invite them to buy. The third thing is, how are you going to actually deliver that invitation to them? How are you going to give them the choice, whether they say yes now or maybe they wait for a future offer? Because this is not about hard pitching. This is not about cold selling. This is about people who are nearly ready to say yes, you putting an offer in front of them so that they can say yes. So the messaging becomes really, really important. And the more direct it is, the easier it's going to be for your audience to say yes. Now, I know when I say the word direct, some of you might be thinking, oh, no, I don't want to be direct. I like to sandwich my sales offers in amongst all my lives. You know, I like to be really subtle in the way that I sell. Well, that was a mindset that I used to have a few years ago. And let me tell you, online, it doesn't work. Subtle does not work. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to be heavy-handed either. It just means that you need to be clear. You need to be direct. So it might sound something like, if you want to achieve, and you insert the result that you help them achieve, then I have a really exciting offer for you. DM me the word X, and you give them a word, and ask them to DM you. Yeah, so you're not pitching your offer. You're not telling them exactly what it is that you're selling. You're talking to the result that they want, the transformation, the outcome that they are looking to get. Okay, so if, take me, for example, I help my clients to grow their sales revenues, to build and scale their online coaching business. So I might say something like, if you want to create consistent 5K months in your online coaching business, then I have a really exciting offer for you. DM me the word clients today so that I can fill you in on all the details. So what could that messaging sound like for you? Okay, being totally transparent with you, I use that exact message in my stories and I get people DMing me with the word clients. That kind of message really does work because firstly, your ideal client who's ready to take a step towards that powerful result, they hear it loud and clear. There is no ambiguity in that message. So your ideal client hears it and responds to it, and it activates them to move. The second part of the reason why this works is when you say, DM me the word clients, people know that actually she's just made this really easy for me. All I've got to put is the word clients, and she's going to do all the heavy lifting. She's going to do all the hard work. She's the professional. She's done this before. She's helped people like me before. I've just got to say the word clients and she's going to do the rest. Rather than them have to think about, what am I going to put in that message to Rachel? How am I going to phrase it that I might be ready, but I'm not sure on the offer yet, and I certainly don't know the pricing yet, and I think I'm ready, but I need to hear more details first. I don't want to sound too keen, but I don't want to sound not keen. So how do I word this? How do I word this DM? You take away all of that confusion by just saying, DM me the word clients, and then you do all the work. Okay, so 3 steps to this, making £1,000 or dollars in the next 7 days. First, clarity on the offer. What is it? What's the result it creates? Who is it for? How much does it cost? And how many of them do you need to sign to reach your money goal? Step 2 is go to your hottest audience, the people that are the most ready, the people that you've been warming up and nurturing without even really knowing that you were doing it. Yeah, you've been warming them up and nurturing them for a while now. All you're now doing is giving them a message, which is step 3, to say yes. Okay, so step 1, clarity. Step 2, your hottest audience. Step 3 is in your messaging. If you would like my feedback on your messaging, drop me a DM. Yeah, share it with me. I will happily give you some feedback on the messaging. And if I can help you to tighten it up and make it a little bit more appealing, then of course I will absolutely do that. Okay, so very happy to do that. The final part to this though, and I've given you those very, clear 3 steps, but there is actually a little piece of magic that needs to happen in order for this strategy to work as well as it did for my client a few weeks back. And that final piece, that piece of magic is you. Okay, it's you. There is no strategy in the world that you could implement in a very, ABC fashion. Rachel says I've just got to do these things and I just show up and I'll just do them and hopefully it'll work. No, that's not enough. That is not enough. What is going to make this successful for you is you. It's your energy. It's your personality. It's the passion that you bring to the invitation that you're making to your audience. Yeah, so you have got to show your audience that you haven't just plucked this offer out of the sky and, you're putting it out there for anybody to say yes. And that's all there is to it. You're a bit sort of shruggy and a bit like, yeah, whatever, it is what it is. No. You have to sound super excited, like proper, like bursting with excitement. Yeah, bursting with excitement. So you'd be showing up on your Instagram stories or in your lives, whether you go live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Going live is a great way to show your audience how excited you are to give them an invitation to say yes to an offer. So you'd be showing up saying like, oh guys, this is a live for you. I have created the most exciting package that I've built for a long time. I'm excited about it because the result I'm going to help you create is X, Y, and Z. And it's specifically designed for you if you are X, Y, Z. Yeah, describe your ideal client. And all I want you to do is DM me the word clients today because I want to tell you all about it. And, if you show up in my DMs, I'll be able to give you all the details. You have to sound like really excited, committed, passionate, and give your audience no reason to say no. Yeah, make it a no-brainer. Give them no reason to say no. And I promise you, these people will show up. They will say yes. So I would love to know, has this been useful? Are you going to try this strategy? It's probably one of the simplest strategies I've ever shared with you. And I promise you, simple strategies always work the best. So go and give it a go. Let me know what result you get. Let me know how it works out for you. And I'll see you in the next episode.